Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson. You're watching Reality Survival. I just went through this whole video without the record button on, so I'm doing it for the second time now. So hopefully I should do it better. Basically, in this video, what I want to do is I want to talk about the stages of a long-term disaster, and I want to correlate that to the stages, the psychological stages that people go through during long-term internment in cases of martial law or being in a resettlement camp or FEMA camp, in a refugee situation, whatever the case may be, okay? So a lot of this research, and I'm going to put some links down in the description below where you guys can check this stuff out. A lot of this research was done by the American Red Cross, and it has to do with the stages of how they, what they deal with when they go into an area and they help people recover from disasters and stuff. And so the first phase is the heroic phase. And that is, these are all pretty self-explanatory. It's the heroic phase. They're come in and they're very thankful for the American Red Cross being there. They are just glad to have the help. They're glad to have the food, the water, the warmth, all those kind of things. And they see the American Red Cross as the hero. They could do no wrong. This is excellent. And so on and so forth. Okay. It's the same kind of situation when you go into a situation where you have, the government coming in and instituting martial law for like a long-term kind of situation. They're glad that they're restoring order in the beginning. Okay, so we're drawing some parallels here between these two. The next phase that people move into is the honeymoon phase. This is where people are wanting to get on board. They're wanting to help, they're wanting to volunteer. They think this is wonderful. How can I do something, that makes this all better? Let me assist you with your mission, that kind of thing. And these phases are going to last different lengths of time for different people. And some people may skip through some of the phases. They may not necessarily go into all of them. The next phase is the disillusionment phase. And this is when people start to get uncomfortable. They've been in this camp for a little while, or they've had their movement restricted in martial law, and they start to get upset because they can't do the things they want to. They understand that their freedoms have been taken away and suspended, and they start to really get frustrated with the system, okay? And that is where the Red Cross starts to see people pushing back against the Red Cross, talking about what all things that the Red Cross has done wrong, and how they're tearing things up, or they're making the situation worse, and all this kind of stuff. And if we look at the parallel to that in a martial law situation, or in a FEMA camp, or whatever you want to call it, it's the same kind of thing. People start to get upset about the rules that have been instituted, that they don't have their freedoms. They start to get organized and they start to get mad about the situation. They want to start seeing things done. Okay, and that stage leads into, for the American Red Cross, it leads into a stage called the Reconstruction Phase, and that's where people in a normal disaster, in a normal situation, start to rebuild their society. They get to the work of rebuilding and everything. And then in a situation where we're talking about martial law, or we're talking about FEMA camps or whatever, what I call that phase is the revolution phase. This is when people start to revolt against the system. They start civil disobedience. They start, like I said, they're organized, and they're starting to work against the system to frustrate the system. Okay. And this is why the military and the government understands that you cannot keep people in bondage for very long because of these psychological phases that they go through. They understand that eventually people are going to revolt, and they are not going to accept the circumstances that they're in anymore. They don't get their Starbucks anymore. They don't get to go to McDonald's. They don't get to go see their Aunt Millie. They start to get mad when they understand the circumstances, okay? And so this is one of the reasons why I say that the government could never institute martial law on a wide scale, nationwide, for a long term. I have always acknowledged that you can and will see martial law or situations similar to it, like in Katrina or in Boston, if that's what you want to call it or whatever. Any short-term situation where the government is coming in to help, people are going to be in that heroic phase when that first happens. If there's a catastrophe or a situation, they'll accept it for short terms, but they won't accept it long term. Some people will go through those phases at different speeds, and some will skip it altogether and go right from 1 to 4. But the bottom line is everybody's going to end up in the same place eventually, and the government understands this. Here's the thing. The thing is that politicians don't want you not productive. They want you to go to work. They want you to pay your taxes. Higher and higher taxes all the time, of course, so that supports their lavish lifestyle. They don't want you in a prison or in a place where you can't go to work and produce the goods and services that they need to live their lavish lifestyle. They would much rather have you at work. So the government has no interest in seeing you locked up or locked down in martial law or any of those kinds of things. They really just love the status quo because they get richer, you get poorer, and the divide just keeps getting bigger and bigger. That's what they want to see. They don't need martial law. They don't need FEMA camps. They don't need anything like that because the system has got them on top already. So anyway, that's just a little bit of reality for the folks that think that your government is coming to get you. They are not coming to get you. They have plenty of agendas and they want more of your tax dollars and all that kind of stuff, yes. But you don't have to worry about troops, coming in and establishing martial law. I've done a video on that already. You can take a look at that video and it explains all the reasons why. We don't have enough troops. We don't have not even close to enough troops to make that happen. The UN doesn't have enough troops. The NATO doesn't have enough troops. It just is not even feasible for an armed population of our numbers. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. If you guys are interested in learning more about this psychological first aid, then check the links in the description below. There's several good articles there that talk about these processes and all that kind of stuff. I found it very enlightening, and I think you can draw some pretty straight parallels between the two, like I've done here in the video. So thanks a bunch for all you guys who have been using the Amazon links. I definitely appreciate that. I also appreciate it when you click the thumbs up button, when you share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.